Welcome back in for your next Exo Chair video. Let's start with one heavy spring on the top deck. So this is going to be a medium to heavy tension here. And we are going to start with our left ball of the foot on the pedal. Bring your hands down to the Exo Chair and place your knee on the edge of the chair. So right below your kneecap, there's that little divot. That's where you're going to place the knee so it doesn't move up or down as you work. Now your hands are down, but your chest is going to stay open rather than rounding. And we're going to start with your pedal. So you're taking your left ankle, pointing your toes and pushing the pedal down to the floor. And then inhale and slowly release that pedal back up to the top. Thinking of taking 3 to 4 seconds in each direction as we work, especially on the lift of the pedal back up. Try to make it as smooth as you can. Get rid of any shakes or jolts or areas that don't feel smooth. And just start to work with your breath. So your inhale is going to allow the pedal to lift. And your exhale is going to push through the ball of the foot to extend that pedal down. Thinking of keeping an even placement through the entire ball of the foot, pushing down and lifting up. Let's go for 3 more here on this side. Remembering that it's with the ball of the foot rather than the toes themselves. Hips are square to your equipment. 1 more. Good, and press that pedal all the way up. As it lifts, you can take your left foot down to the floor. Inhale both arms up and overhead, big stretch. And then let's roll down to the pedal. Dropping through the arms, rounding like you're reaching up and over a fence. Pressing that pedal down, letting your head fall heavy, reaching towards the ground as far as is comfortable. Take a breath in. On your exhale, tuck the pelvis under, stack the pelvis between the heels, stack the spine over the pelvis, release the hands from the pedal, and roll all the way back up to standing. Inhale, arms up and overhead, and then release them down. This time we are going to be taking the right foot to the pedal, so take the right ball of the foot to the pedal, bring your hands to the carriage, and bring your knee to that chair. Remember, it's that little divot right under the kneecap. And we're starting with an open chest, a nice flat spine, inhaling to prepare. Exhale as we push that pedal down towards the floor. And then inhale to slowly resist that pedal up. Starting with our ankle stretch today. Inhale as you release. And exhale as you push into that pedal back down. Reminding yourself that you are working in both directions. And you are still in charge of keeping your spine and your neck in alignment. And letting your breath flow. Exhaling to push the pedal down. And inhaling to control it up. 3 to 4 seconds in each direction with that pedal. And last 2. Even pressure through the entire bottom of the foot. And on your last one, slowly release, and you can lift that pedal all the way back up. Coming to stand, roll out those ankles. We're going to head into some abdominal work. Now for this, we're going to use the extra challenge of being on top of your chair. If that is not comfortable, all you need to do is find a mat on the floor and do our ab work there, because we're not going to be using our pedal. So if you're coming onto your chair, we are going to start by lying down on your back. So you're going to be sitting on the very front edge of your Exo chair. Lay down on the long side and slowly bring one leg up to tabletop and then the other leg up to tabletop. Now we want to make sure that your entire lower back and tailbone are attached to the carriage and that your shoulders are hanging off comfortably. Go ahead and bring those knees in towards the chest and keep them together, and place your hands back behind your head, right where your neck meets your head. From this position, we're going to inhale and stretch all the way back, opening up the chest and letting the exo chair give an extra little opener to the cervical and thoracic spine. On your exhale, you're keeping the legs together as you start to chest lift up, curling up right through the center, keeping your arms relaxed and your head heavy in your hands, and then inhale and slowly lower back down. Exhale, ribs get heavy, tuck the chin, curl it up. Head is heavy in the hands, and inhale to lower back down. Exhale, chest lift up. This time we're going to twist. Bring your right shoulder across your body and look down past the left hip. And then inhale, come back down through the center. Exhale, chest lift, other side. Bring the left shoulder across the body, look down past the right hip. And inhale, lower down. Continuing to work here, focusing on the twist, thinking shoulder to hip more than elbow to knee. We don't care if your elbow touches your knee. We really want to see that rotation right through the mid-body. And with each repetition, use your exhale to zip up through the midline, zipping up from the pubic bone up through the rib cage. Going for one more each side. And grab a hold of your shins or hold onto your head and rest for a breath. We have one more addition with some leg extension coming your way next. So when you're ready, hands back behind your head and neck, right where your neck meets your spine, right where your head meets your spine. Release the legs out so your knees are over your belly button. And then inhale, lower your head down, opening up your chest over the exo chair edge. And then exhale, we curl up, twist right shoulder towards the left hip. And as you do, reach your right leg all the way out and away from you. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist, left shoulder, right hip, left leg reaches away from you. And inhale, center. Exhale, we twist. Inhale, return. Exhale, twist. Inhale, return. Stay lifted for me. Exhale, twist. Really focus on that twist to help get out of the neck. The more you twist, the less those neck muscles will work for you, in theory. Good. Give me one more each side. Stay lifted up as much as you can. Shoulder blades wanting to lift. And rest. Bring yourself up nice and slow, making sure you don't fall off that edge. And we are back. Great job. We're going to be standing now. And if you would like some extra balance support, feel free to add in your side railings if your chair has them, or just bring a box or a chair over from somewhere nearby. We're going to be side facing, so my chair is directly out from my left hip, and I'm going to be working with my right leg. So your right leg is going to come up and across the body, and it's going to find that pedal. Now from this position, we're almost in like what would be a figure four stretch in a turned out position of this leg. This is going to be where we come every time this pedal lifts up. And as we push the pedal down, we're going to allow our leg to rotate to more of a parallel position. And then we're going to inhale and slowly lift up. Now, as we work, you're gonna go down and up with that pedal, stay balanced. If you had the same issue as me and your foot was hitting the edge of your chair, you're gonna shift to using the pedal closer to the back side of that chair. So again, you're gonna push down, that leg feels like it's parallel, almost like you're squeezing your inner thighs, doing the potty dance, as I like to call it. So pushing down, feeling that zip of the legs, and then controlling slow and steady back up. Can you embrace that external rotation as you lift the pedal? Twisting up as if to show that inner portion of your calf up towards the ceiling. Good, working some mobility through the leg. And one more time here on this side. And then let's lift it up. Now we're going to turn around and we're going to go straight to the other side. So right side of the body is now facing the chair. You're going to bring your left leg up into your chest. Cross that left leg across the body, finding the pedal and noticing that starting rotation of the leg. Keep your hips parallel to your exo chair and start to push that pedal down. As you do, feel those inner thighs zip together and then slowly lift back up. Now, as far as our tension, we want it to be pretty heavy, but not heavy enough to knock us off or that we can't push all the way into the floor. Remember, a balance aid is always okay here. And as we finish, really focusing on that rotation of the leg as the pedal comes up and of that parallel position as you push the pedal down. Keeping as much control of your pedal as you can. That exo chair is always a little bit bossy. Making sure your hips aren't starting to drift towards the chair, they're staying straight forward. And last one. Slowly lift that pedal all the way up, and you can leave it there. Now we are going to stay on the same tension. You want this next exercise to feel light, to be more challenging, a little bit heavier to feel less challenging. So leave it where it is, but if it doesn't feel light enough, reduce the tension a little bit. All right, we got some water. We are ready to go. We're going to be kneeling, side facing again on that exo chair. So come up to kneeling, hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips, and we're going to be taking your right foot onto that exo chair pedal and pushing that pedal all the way down so that your leg is straight. So we're looking for the shoulders and the hips to be square towards the space below you. To start, we're just going to inhale and bend your knee. Try to keep the foot flat to the pedal. And then exhale, push that pedal back down. Inhale, bend the knee, bringing your knee towards your elbow. And then exhaling to push back down. Keeping your breath and just continuing to move here with that leg. Good. This is where you're going to be able to come back to if our next exercise isn't comfortable. But with that said, let's straighten your right leg and keep it straight. Slowly build yourself all the way up to a high kneeling position. So now the left knee is underneath you. Your right leg is on that pedal and it's going to stay straight. We're going to find a little hip hinge. So think of a tiny little squat, a kneeling squat. Inhale, arms sweep forward, hips stick back, hover your booty above your heel, and then inhale, control it back forward. Inhale, we take it down. And exhale, we're going to bring it up. Exhale to rise. Good. Now the reason our pedal is light is because it's just helping to guide us, to give us a smooth track to go up and down. but our left leg is going to be our working leg here. So inhale as we lower and exhale as we lift. It is possible to touch your pedal to the floor here, but we don't want to do that. We want it to be hovering. So if needed, you can walk your foot further forward and just hinge a little bit more through both legs. We're going to be hinging to hold here in just a moment, but really work into that glute. Think booty back to the wall behind you more than booty down. One more time, take it down, and we're going to hold it here. Now your inhale is going to send your arms back. Exhale, send them forward. Inhale, send them back. Open your chest. Exhale, forward. Tuck your tail under, round your spine. Inhale, open your chest. Pop your trunk. Exhale, tuck under, rounded spine. One more. Inhale, pop the trunk. Open, hold it here. Now right leg, can you bend it and straighten it? It doesn't have to be much. Bend, push, bend, push. Standing leg or kneeling leg is strong. Heavy into that left shin. Keep your heart wide open. Push the pedal straight and bring it all the way up. Good job. Hands to the carriage. Push the pedal to the floor. Lift that pedal up nice and slow. And stand up. Give your legs and your upper body just a moment to come back, dance it off. And we are going to head over to side number 2. Now, as we head into our second side here, I really want you to, again, focus on that leg underneath you. And as you focus on this kneeling leg, keep engaged by pushing your shin down into the carriage. So your hands are under you. Your left leg is going to extend out to find the pedal. Now that you have that left leg out, extended, and on the pedal, you're pushing into that right shin, squaring off your hips, your shoulders, your neck alignment, and then we bend in on that left leg and we push it straight. Inhale, bending that left leg. Exhale, push it straight. Now keep working just like that. Inhale to bend. Exhale to push. Notice that your hips don't move, your shoulders don't move. You're isolating that leg. And this is where you can always come back if that kneeling exercise isn't comfortable. But when you're ready, push that leg straight. Slowly build yourself all the way up, finding that high kneeling position, strong through your left shin. We start with our hinge. So we're going to inhale, arms sweep forward, stick the booty back. Think of reaching it to the wall behind you, and then control up, coming nice and tall. Inhale, level through the hips as you hinge, reach the booty back. And control, bring it right back up. Every time you inhale, feel that stability in the trunk of your body. Every time you exhale, feel the ribs and the pelvis stacking together to keep your core solid. Inhale, hips reach to the space behind you. Exhale, we rise. The quad and the glute are working together to help get you working here, but I really want you to try and isolate that glute. Thinking booty back, like your hamstrings want to touch the wall behind you. We're going to be pushing to hold here in one more. Take it down, hold. Now as we hold it, inhale, arms go back, open the chest. Arms come forward, tuck the tail, round the spine, heavy head. Inhale, pop the trunk, open the chest. Your pedal is stable. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under, round the spine. 2 more. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, tuck and round. 1 more. Inhale, open the chest. Keep it open, full breath here. And now just the left leg, isolate it, bend that knee, push it back out. Inhale, it bends. Exhale to push. Keeping the heart wide open. Keep the work in that glute. Ribs are stacked right over the pelvis. And 3, 2, push straight, rise up, and bring it down. Hands to carriage. Lift that pedal up. Scooch off of that chair. And we're going to come up in spring tension. I want you to be on one high and one heavy and one light spring for me. One heavy and one light. This is going to be a medium to high tension. If you know what you like to pike on as far as spring tension goes, that is what you are going to be doing, and that would be an adequate spring tension for this next series. So once you have your spring tension elevated just a little bit, you are going to come so that you are standing directly in front of your exo chair, facing your pedal. Take a nice big inhale, reach both arms up and over your head. Exhale, roll it down, bring your hands to your pedal and hold. It should be quite heavy. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine out, nice flat back. Exhale, push into the pedal, around the spine and curl. Inhale, open the chest, lengthen the spine, standing cat-cow. Exhale, tuck the pelvis and round. One more time. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, tuck and round. Push into that pedal and roll the body all the way up to a standing position. Shoulders roll back and down. Sit on your chair. Once you are seated, we are going to bring your hands to the edge of your chair and your feet to your pedal. Specifically, the balls of your feet, they're going to come so that they are on your chair and your heels are touching. With your hands on your front edge, we're going to do a little press with the legs down. Notice that it's quite heavy. You should be barely able to push that pedal to the floor. When you're ready, we're going to go hands on front edge of your chair. Lift up with your hips. Find a little bridge here. Hips are off of your chair. And then inhale, take your booty back down, rest it to your chair. So there's our step 1. Push into those arms. With your pedal elevated, you're going to lift your hips, hold up in that little bridge, squeeze the glutes, and bring it back down. 2 more here, really focusing on engaging through the heels, feeling inner thighs and glutes support you. And 1 more time. As you lower your hips back down, I want you to keep them off of the carriage. Bend your knees so that your booty is really close to your heels. Inhale, bend your elbows, tricep dip, and exhale, push into those hands and rise back up. If you need more support, adjust your tension. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, push straight into the arms, lift the chest. As you work, every time you come out of this, you're going to make sure you lift all the way up and out of the heart. Inhale to bend. Exhale, lift up and out of the heart. And last one, inhale, bend. Exhale, press, lift up and out of the heart. And take your booty back to the carriage. Roll out those shoulders. Now, if you find that that's not comfortable for you, anytime we come to it in the future, I want you to just keep your feet on the floor and lower and lift from there and give yourself the support that you need from the legs, even though you're not using the pedal to float up and down. And we'll work on that together as it comes. Perfect. So we are here. We have 1 more exercise for your day before we come back to this and do it once again. So we are going to drop to your lightest tension, the lightest possible tension. And once you are on your lightest tension, come up just a little bit heavier than that. So for myself, I have my lightest spring on the upper deck. So just a little bit heavier then not much support. And once we get started, you'll know right away whether that tension is right or not. That's the one thing I love about the Exo chair, is it will always let you know, because if something isn't right, it'll either fling you off or it won't feel like anything is happening. From here, we're going to start with your right hand on the pedal, and I want it to be the pedal closest to your front edge. We're side facing, right hip is on the carriage, and as you push this pedal down, I want you to come to a side lying position where your legs are squeezing together, your hips are stacked, and you are balanced right over top of your wrist. Now, when we're doing this, fingers are not going to go underneath your pedal. That's how they're going to get smushed. So you're going to keep a flat hand at all times. Left hand is in front of you. It's on that carriage to make sure you don't tilt forward. And we're going to start by just lifting the legs a few inches and lowering them down. So it's going to feel like they're not going anywhere at all, but just trust that little lift and lower. As if your bottom leg is pressing your top leg up. Squeeze your glutes for me and try and imagine you're holding a penny between your butt cheeks, holding that as you try and lift and lower those legs. One more time. Now just hold it. You're squeezing your legs, you're squeezing your penny, and I want you now to let the pedal lift your upper body up a few inches and down a few inches. So notice how my left hand stays down. It's there for stability, but I'm not using it to help me lift higher. The pedal lifts me up and I crunch right through those obliques and I lower down. Now, as you do this, if you feel anything funky in the lower back, squeeze your booty and pull your legs back behind you. Hold on to that penny so that way as you come up, we're recruiting from the obliques rather than the back muscles. Good, just that little lift, finding that side bend, that lateral flexion of the spine. And as always, it's not about how big it is, how deep can you draw that engagement into your core. One more. And rest. Pause for a breath. It gets a little bit more fun from here. So we're going to go left hand to your head. Now as you inhale, you're preparing, hover your pedal. As you exhale, you're curling up. You're going to bring your left knee up in towards your left elbow. They're not going to touch. And then you're slowly going to lower back down and come back to center. Your left butt cheek never touches the carriage. You are not rolling back onto your hip. You are simply leaning slightly, enough that you can draw that left leg up and in towards your elbow. Exhale, you crunch. As you do, you open up, you bring that leg in, and you lower down. So as we do this, we're no longer side facing. We face up towards the ceiling slightly, and we draw that leg in. Let's do 3 more on this side. You exhale as you work, pull that leg in. Inhale, lower down, elongate. Exhale, bring it in. And pull it down. And one more. Bring it down and slowly build it all the way back up. Well done. That is side number 1. We're going to come back to our bridging and our frog for just a moment. Grab some water if you need it. And we are going to be seated on our chair. Oh, no, we're going to do the other side. Sorry about that. Once we change our spring tension, I don't want to have to change it again. So we're coming to lie down on our side, left hip to that exo chair. With that left hip onto your exo chair, you are going to be placing your left hand onto that pedal. Push that pedal down to the ground, get your hips stacked. And again, we want it to be that pedal closest to that front edge that you're near. So we're staying in our side position. Your right hand is anchored onto that carriage. Squeeze your glutes like there's a penny between your cheeks. And now lift those legs up 2 or 3 inches and lower them down. Lift the legs up a little bit and lower. Focusing on that bottom leg, having to press the weight of the top leg up a few inches. Now, as you work here, if your pedal feels like it won't stay still, that's either a sign to scoot closer to the pedal, and if you're already at that edge, then it's a sign to drop your tension. And last one, try to lift those legs and rest. Now we come into our side bend, so you're slowly going to allow that pedal to lift you up, creating that little bit of lateral flexion, and then slowly lower it down. Now it's tempting to let those legs creep forward, but you're going to keep squeezing that penny between your glutes, helping you keep your hips stacked, helping you keep your legs underneath you. Reminding yourself that it's not how high you go, how deep are you engaging through those right obliques as you crunch up, how much are you drawing in through the entire core. If your neck is getting tired, look down to that left hand or up to that right hip. And last one. Good. Now we're going to be adding on just a little bit. From here, right arm is going to come so that your hand is right behind your head. We're going to float our pedal up on the inhale. Exhale, we start to come up, bringing your body into a bend, and then hovering your right knee, bend it, bring it up in towards your elbow, and inhale, lengthen back out. Good. Exhale, we crunch, we draw that knee in, and inhale, we lengthen out. Stay in line with your chair, making sure each time you come down, you're back in that straight position. This is definitely my more challenging side. So you've got this, I've got this. We're doing it together. Exhale as you come up. Feel that cinching of the waist. It's not how close you bring the knee in, how tight can you contract through the core itself. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to engage. And last one. Lengthen and rest. Place your hand down. Carefully bring yourself up. And let's increase that tension. Add that heavy spring back on. This is the tension that you like for piking. We're back to our frog back position. We've got a second try here at this one. And as we go through it, once again, if it is not comfortable, feel free to bring it to that starting position that we'll go through. You're seated, your feet are on your pedal, heels together in Pilates V. Hands are on your carriage edge, and we're going to start by pushing into your hands, pushing into your pedal a little bit, and lifting your hips up to hover. Squeeze those glutes as you lift, and inhale to bring it back down. Exhale, push into the pedal a little bit, squeeze the glutes, hips up, and hips down. Now you can always stay here, or this next time you lift your hips up, we're going to hold. Push your pedal down a little bit, lift your pedal up a little bit. Squeeze those heels, push through the balls of the feet, use that booty. Every time you exhale, feel the ribs sink onto the hips. Feel the legs push into the pedal. Inhale, you lift it up. Exhale, you push. Inhale, you lift. Exhale, you push. And one more. And bring those hips back down. And shake out those arms. Relax. Now I promised you piking, so let's come to our piking. Now today I'm going to start with our kneeling pike offering. This might not be comfortable. It might not feel like it fits your body aerodynamics. So in that case, come back to your normal pike. But to mix it up, we're going to be bringing our knees onto the pedal. So from one knee to the pedal, you're going to push that pedal all the way down until you can place both knees on the floor on the pedal. Place your forearms onto that exo chair. And once you have your forearms placed onto that chair, we are ready for our first pike. Doing so by shifting your body weight forward slightly, feel that pedal hover. Once you have it in your hover, I want you to start pulling in from your low abs, your belly button, above your belly button, your ribs, your upper abs. Exhale, it all lifts up. Inhale, lengthen back out. So again, exhale, you lift from your pelvic floor, from your pubic bone, from your low abs, your belly button, your mid abs, your upper abs, and you lift and you lower. Continuing to work here, reminding yourself of engaging through those little mile markers along the way. Think of the space between your hip bones, the space below your belly button, the space above your belly button, your ribs, and all of it upper abs included. We're building it like a stair stepper here. So low abs, mid abs, upper abs, control to flex. Inhale, we lengthen out. 2 more. Build it up like a stair stepper. Low abs, mid abs, upper abs, and inhale back down. And last one. From here, we exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lengthen it out. To come up, we're going to plant one foot up like you're standing, and then control that pedal up with the opposing knee. Lovely. Now, if you enjoyed that, feel free to stay in that variation. If you would like to come to your opposite, your standing variation, now I'm going to walk you through this. Hands will come onto your chair, feet are back away from where your pedal is going to land. Bring one knee up, place it on your pedal. Your foot is now on that pedal, and place it all the way down. Now both feet step onto your pedal, and I want you to bring your heels together into a Pilates V zipped position. Wherever you are, you're going to inhale, lengthen your spine, shift your body weight forward slightly till you feel that pedal hover. Now keeping your stack of your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lift through low abs, mid abs, upper abs. Relax the head and neck, lift as high as you can, squeeze the heels, and push back down, lengthen out through the spine. So no matter where you are, you're thinking of that stair stepper. Exhale, lift with low abs, mid abs, upper abs. All of it lifts and all of it pushes back down. As you continue your flow, keep the squeeze of your heels. Keep your shoulders right over your wrists. Focus more on how deeply you are engaged than how high you lift the whole time. Keep your heels elevated like you're in little high heels. And remind yourself that you're still pushing through those toes. Let's do one more. Lift up low abs, mid abs, upper abs, and push down a little bit, a little more, and rest. Now let's guide that pedal all the way up to the top, and that completes your work for today. Thank you so much for coming in to join me. I look forward to seeing you in our next movement break.